golden ticket, I'm on the road to riches. I cannot fold on difference, so persistent. She know I'm on the mission. Lately I'm cold and distant, golden inches. I'm one of the chosen children. They got the wrong intention. Roller engine told me pick my soul of the system, so I went to the solar system. Load the spaceship, I know where I'm going, where I'm aiming. I'm on that Moses, David, Joseph, Jacob. I've been on the road, let's take it. That's where I hold my faith in, so forsaken. I know they won't embrace me, they got me so mistaken. Chose to face it, I was on a broken pavement. I cannot hold this pain in. Whoa, I've been down too long, it's time to lift off. Never dropped the flow that they ain't bit off. They was locked and loaded when they slid off. Thank the Lord that they ain't fight that stick off. I know he returning like a kickoff. Get the shit off of me, watch it rinse off. You can't be me, you a spin off of me. Check the list off, they handicapped out like a crip walk. Big top, we was on the move, getting lit off. Big dog, just another sinner like a tip off. Pitfall, look at all the misery the sin brought. Swinging on the beat, we fist fought. Monty been called, knock your wig off. Jehovah, the rock of ages. That's why I pray to God, not crystal. Stop the riddles, falling men, mocking sin. Knock your moccasins, I'll probably pop your lid off. Got some folks in the slammer for swinging them hammers. They say that I'm liable to crash out. It's some spots in Atlanta, if you don't bring manners, it's likely that you gon' get papped out. Losing sleep cause I can't shake the hell of the smell of dead bodies inside of that crack house. You think I'ma let you at your table of soup, set the label, tell me how to rap now. I'm the chief, I'm the one, I'm the feast, you the crumb. I'm a priest till he come, I never backed out. I'm the teeth, you the gun, you the seed, I'm the sun. Laser beam on the gun, I'm finna blast out. I been tweaking on the drums, in the seat, I'm with the sun. I got demons on the run, I brought the bats out. Last season it was fun, they was thinking I was done. I was heating up the run, I got a text now. Yeah, I was seated back in the back, I'm the reason rappers attack. You gon' need to actually rap to see me react to your track. I don't need a plaque, I'ma keep repeating facts. Disassemble, float and reattach, the king is back. Wait, I got this wine from above. Like a bartender, I poet. They told me rebuke him with love. Now my bar's tender, I'm a poet. I'ma show it, I'ma sow it, Yahweh grow it. That's the motive, flow is golden, it's too potent, they can't hold it. They get they place from rodent kitchens, they been coping with it. All these bars will turn your whole home to prison. I'ma go the distance, break they golden image. Way the flow been switching, gave you motion sickness. I got the golden ticket, I'm on the road to riches. I cannot fold on difference, so persistent. She know I'm on the mission, lately I'm cold and distant. Golden inches, I'm one of the chosen children. They got the wrong intention, roller engine told me pick my soul of the system, so I went to the solar system. Load the spaceship, I know where I'm going, where I'm aiming. I'm on that Moses, David, Joseph, Jacob. I've been on the road, let's take it. That's where I hold my faith in, so forsaken. I know they won't embrace me, they got me so mistaken. Chose to face it, I was on a broken pavement. I cannot hold this pain in. Solitude.
Glory be to God, cause he brought me up from the dead. If the devil try to run up, put that metal to his head. I can't listen to none of y'all, by the spirit I am led. I've been focused on my mission, I'm just doing what he said. I couldn't see where I was going like a blindfold. The devil keep on offering cash, cause he want my soul. I stay with my brothers and you know that we be 10 toes. I've been counting blessings, that's why my neck and my wrist froze. B-I-B-L-E up on my hip, yeah, as they stepped up. Kicked out all my demons, told them that it's time to pack up. I don't do no fighting, G.O.D., yeah, that's my backup. Jesus ran through Satan's house and took the key, but he ain't mask up. Nah, we gon' put Jehovah on the map. Nah, devil run up on me, he get clapped. Nah, keep a Bible, yeah, I'm staying strapped. Praying for my brothers every day that's still stuck in the trial. CEO, yeah, I'm living incredible. Big boss, yeah, I'm living impeccable. Bad news, can I be on my schedule? High in the spirit, I don't need a medical. Hop on the ship when we taking off. People that hate, but I shake it off. I cannot deal with no negative energy. Told the demons you can't stay at all. Glory be to God, cause he brought me up from the dead. If the devil try to run up, put that metal to his head. I can't listen to none of y'all, by the spirit I am led. I've been focused on my mission, I'm just doing what he said. Nah, we gon' put Jehovah on the map. Nah, devil run up on me, he get clapped. Nah, keep a Bible, yeah, I'm staying strapped. Praying for my brothers every day that's still stuck in the trap.
Eli got me jumping. Eli. Alright.
Hold on, what? You made this?
Billy. That temptation kills, popping tags, popping pills. Yeah. That's right. Everybody keep on sleeping on deal. Blood, sweat, tears, man, look what I spill. Spotify looking ideal. Why every day I be in my pills? I know son, I got paying my bill. Devil alive, but Satan is real. In the street, kill it, be killed. everybody just keep taking they pill. I let the pride get the best of me, I want the fame, that's a necessity. All of the shade, that was affecting me. All of the praise, that was a check to me. Out of my bay, they get the rest of me. Sometimes I'm way too obsessed with my legacy. Ignore the angel and change he was begging me for. Okay man, what did you taking me for? Apathy feel more like hate to the poor. Hypocrites, I cannot take anymore. Especially when the chief of offense is staring at me in the mirror, of course. Lately in prayer I've been shutting my mouth and I'm thinking that maybe I'm hearing him right. It's funny that once I let go of my fears, it feel like that maybe I'm fearing him more. I hit her up with ... then block them, just so they lost in thought. I do not wrestle against flesh and blood, just lies and lust and pride and God. I think I won my fight with God, came away limping, they think I'm pimping. I hope you listen to things that I'm spitting, it's fire. Imagine if you were my dentist. See, there go the pride that eat me inside, they leave me to die. Yeah, I'm treating God like a genie, I think I'm a genius. I need an arena, I'm hot as a chili, I'm Anthony Kiedis. I got one with Killin', I need one with Keenan. You tweeted me, said I'm the GOAT, that mean we in agreement. I told you my ego a demon. Everybody keep on sleeping on deal. Blood, sweat, tears, man, look what I spill. Spotify looking ideal. Why every day I be in my pills? I know son of God paying my bill. Devil alive, but Satan it real. In the street, killer be killed. This is a song about ego. I had to pass up part of my passion. None of that cash app going that casket. None of it. Instagram addict. I had to switch up all of my habits. Do it for the wristwatch, do it for the TikTok, do it for the status. I couldn't fly with all of that baggage, I had to trash it. I ain't getting to speak like radishes. I see what they do, but that ain't this. Online they say from Tennessee, but really I come from Nazareth. My flow handsome like Bradley Pitt. My flow handsome like Bradley Pitt. My flow handsome like Bradley Pitt. My flow handsome like ego. Matter of fact, when I go talk like that, I know I'll fall right back in fear and doubt. Can't play with God like that, rather be hearing them out. I'm fearing them now, spent years out here, chain thing that now I don't even caring them about. I'm hearing the vow, but then when I'm hearing my peers, I'm thinking about airing them out like everybody keep on sleeping on deal. Blood, sweat, tears, man, look what I spill. Spotify looking ideal. Why every day I be in my pills? I know son of God paying my bill. Devil alive, but Satan it real. In the street, killer be killed, and everybody just keep taking they bill.
Wow, you are. Can you be a little more serious?
Let's go. Roll like this, light in the world, I glow like this. Swim my flow like this, got a brand new song and a go like this. 180 degrees, switch. B.I.B.S. is right on my hip. Thought that I told you we not going back, we too deep in the water. You ready? Let's get. I'm like 10-4, copy that. Don't stress it, just let it go. Copy that. It's lit, it ain't worth my soul. Copy that. Gotta keep my eyes on the road, yeah. Copy that. He told me to go, let the whole world know. Flex with the light, worth more than gold. Walking through the valley, I am not alone. Sticking to the script, yeah, I know you in control. Ay, I wanna rock right now, I wanna rock right now. Stand on the rock right now. Open up the gate, touchdown. Lost but not unfound. I feel free, no rain, no cloud. Way too up, I can't get down. I'm not finna change cause you come around. You try me, you try my pops. I wouldn't do it. You gave me the keys, you haven't unlocked. This all I got, but this all I need. I got it for free and I ain't pay a fee. Hey, this road ain't for everybody. But you gotta let them help you first. Everyone else gon' come later. Hey, roll like this, light on the world, I glow like this. Switch my flow like this, got a brand new song and it go like this. 180 degrees, switch. B.I.B.S. is right on my hip. Thought that I told you we not going back, we too deep in the water. You ready? Let's get. Yeah, 10-4, copy that. Don't stress it, just let it go. Copy that. Nah, it ain't worth my soul. Copy that. Gotta keep my eyes on the road, yeah. Copy that. He told me to go, let the whole world know. Flex with the light, worth more than gold. Walking through the valley, I am not alone. Sticking to the script, yeah, I know you in control. Thoughts in my mind run sometimes like maybe I can't be who you called me to be. Lies of the enemy. Copy that. On my knees at the throne. Copy that. Try to be like everybody else. Copycat. Doesn't matter how far I fall. You brought me back. Copy that. Your grace, your love, I need a lot of that. Roll like this, light in the world, I glow like this. Swim my flow like this, got a brand new song and a go like this. 180 degrees, switch. B.I.B.S. right on my hip. Thought that I told you we not going back, we too deep in the water. You ready? Let's get. 10-4, copy that. Don't stress it, just let it go. No, that ain't worth my soul. Copy that. Don't you ever let go. Copy that.
Alright everyone, welcome. This is Crystal, and this is my part of my collaboration video with Arson Darksy, and her channel is called Prideless Chickz, and I'm happy to be working with her, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I don't have these, it's like, these are my old charts from like 2018, 2019, when I used to do, like, when I did my transvestigations, and I would do long ones with an anatomy lesson. So, anyways, one thing I'm going to be looking at quite a bit is the Q angle. The Q angle, like, this is a male skeleton, and it's like the femur inserts into the pelvis at more of a vertical angle, and with the female it comes down more at a wider angle. It's more of a wider angle, like it starts further away and it comes inward towards the knee. And I'm going to deal with the clavicles a lot, and I actually have a photo where it's a photo that I had seen of a real, and I know that it's a real female, and it's a skinny one, because people try to say, well, the collarbones are sticking out like that because they're just a skinny girl, but you'll see that that's not the case. But basically, the Q angle is a big difference. With males, you'll expect to have 3 head widths across the shoulders. So, and Rihanna has a very large skull, and a larger skull is a trait of a male. Now, it's like a female might have, they might think, well, I have a big head or something. But it's like the biggest, like, human male skull is always going to be bigger than the biggest female skull. And also, one more thing I wanted to point out is that the waist indentations for a female go above the navel, because that's where, on a real female, they're above the navel where the waist indents, because that's where the pelvic bone ends, is above the navel. The pelvic bone goes up higher. On a man, they'll have what's called an Adonis belt, and that'll be like basically 3 inches below the navel is where the Adonis belt will be. And also, females, for the most part, now, it's like I'm looking at markers when I make videos like this. So it's like I'll look for about 15 markers. And so if someone, like some women may have arms that are slightly longer than crotch length. But I know me, and like my older daughter, my mother, like people that I've known in my life, it's like if you pay attention, females usually have where their hands are ending, and that's why this diagram is not that reliable there. But the arms, females have shorter arms and a shorter humerus bone. So it's like the hand will be ending around the crotch length. This shows longer, which is, I guess, one fallacy of this chart here. But here is a picture or pictures of male and female skulls. The male skull, you'll notice right away, is larger overall. Now, not all males' skulls are going to be larger than all females, but in general, a male has a larger skull. They will have more of a brow ridge and more of a sloping back forehead. Females generally have more of a vertical forehead and a flatter brow bone. Also, the cheekbones are not as prominent, and the jaw on a female just kind of slowly curves. It kind of just comes up and just blends into the spot where the ear is. It's just like real gradual. But with a male, you see how this is like more like a 90 degree, it's almost a 90-degree angle, this square, thick, boxy jaw. And males generally have their eyes spaced further apart in the skull. The dental arch is larger. But, yep, I'm just looking at some of these because I haven't pulled out these charts in probably 4 years because I don't usually do transvestigation videos anymore. But it used to be one of my strengths, so I figured I had to get back into it for this video. I figured it was important because there was guys on my Facebook talking about how they'd like to do things that I can't say to Rihanna, and I'm like, I just posted a comment like, don't you realize that that's a dude? I said that's a DRAG, and that's why do you think the skull is so big? Honestly, this is one of the, it's like, I would think that this person wouldn't pass at all as a female just simply because of the skull, and you'll see that in some of the later photos. So I'm just going to go down these one by one, and they're not, it's like some of these are they're adulthood. I have others that are childhood, and the childhood ones are really telling, but you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. With this, what I saw here is that it's like the arm is kind of splayed away from the body, but there's long arms here. And so the arm, if this character put their arm down, it'd be like here, which is a lot of times, you know, males might have arm length that's halfway down their thigh, or even I've seen it even approaching the knee. But this one doesn't have super extremely long arms, but they're still like a full hand length below the crotch level. Because crotch level will be like at this level, but in the front. And that hand is away from the body. If this arm was straightened down, it'd be down here. But this is a board and a straight, flat back. Also, that's one thing I haven't mentioned yet. Females naturally have curvature in their back. Like with their neck, basically from the neck, their spine will curve outward a little bit, and then it'll curve inward. Their back will curve out from the neck, and then it'll be out, and then it'll curve inward around the bra line, and then it'll curve back out around the rear. But in a male, it's straight and flat, and it only curves out slightly right around the rear, which is what we have here. Also, I don't want to scrutinize anymore on this picture, except for the flat back. You can see it's just 100% flat, which is not a female trait. It's a male trait. Because, I mean, just look at females around you. You'll see there's some curvature in the spine. Like it curves out a little bit around the neck. It curves in around here, and it'll flare back out. And that is the curvature in a female spine, is to help a female carry it, to offset the weight where the female can carry their pregnancy to term. And you might ask, well, Rihanna was pregnant. I seen her stomach. And it's like, no, you saw a moon bump. And you can look up, I didn't look up and go deeply into a moon bump in this, but you're free to look it up for yourself. But right here, I don't know if this looks like maybe a repeat of the same picture, but just it's a board and straight flat back. There's close up of it. And this person also had been a lot skinnier, and nowadays it looks like they've had a lot of work done. Now this right here is a perfect example. Okay, look. Now, large skull, wide set eyes. Now, I've talked about with people that are part or fully African American or black, it's like they can have a thickening of the brow, like in the forehead area, and they don't have to have an extremely thick brow ridge and a sloping back forehead. It can be more of like the forehead is just thick in there in the front, in the brow area, and then it rises up in a rounder fashion. So it's still consistent. And a large mouth. Males have a larger mouth in general and a larger dental arch. And that's one of the things that I didn't go over, but I knew I was going to be going back to the chart. See how the dental arch on a male is much larger than on a female. It's more petite. But yes, the main thing from this is that if you just look at the width of this head, you could fit 1, 2, 3 heads on those shoulders. So it's like the shoulders don't present as extremely wide compared to some people that we look at, but on a male, they don't have to be extremely wide because we got other markers here, like this completely horizontal, straight, protruding collarbone that goes completely flat and straight all the way to the edge of the shoulder on both sides. And we got 3 head widths right here, wide set eyes, square jawline, and then the pointiness of the chin. It's like they might have a naturally pointy chin. Oh, I'm going to look at the childhood photos more. Okay, here is yet another picture of the flat and straight back, and there's where it curves right above the rear. I think they've had some work done in the legs, because I've seen them in different poses, different times. It's like I think they might have had fat injections or something done with this rear, because I don't think it's natural. Because they were skinnier, and especially now they're built up a lot more, but I think it's just silicone or fat injections. This is flat and straight all the way down, flat and straight all the way down, curving at the very bottom, which is consistent with the male. And also the hips are really narrow. I wouldn't try to tell a Q angle from behind, but no, you can just tell like large hands and long arms overall. Okay, this here, right here, is our smoking gun. And then, okay, celebrities, like you'll think, well, their waist goes in above the navel. But it only does that if they can lean to one side and make it look like they have an indent. But no, where their indent is right here. This is the Adonis belt. That's the end of the pelvis right there. That's the top of it. The end. Right there and right there. Those little lines that come down towards the crotch. And look where it ends. It ends right here, 2 or 3 inches below the navel. Like I said, was consistent for a male. Also, if you look how the legs go. Don't look at this like extra hip. Could be fat injections, surgeries, etc. But look how straight and up and down this leg is. How straight and up and down the leg is where it inserts into the pelvis. It's completely 100% straight up and down. There's no Q angle at all on Rihanna. And the Adonis, that is a classic Adonis belt. And it could have been, and if you look at this, they look real shiny. It's like the detail and the resolution is not real good here. It's not. It looks like it's been doctored up with Photoshop. Like, but you can still see it. Even if they put Photoshop on it, it's still an Adonis belt. That's the top. So, I mean, right here, this is impossible for this to be a female right here. Because there's the navel. And there is the end of the hip bone below the navel. With a female, they'll have a natural, see, this is a flat side over here. It's flat. They're leaning, so it looks like somewhat of an indent. But with most females, the indent will be more pronounced, and they won't have nothing down here. That's an Adonis belt. That is too. And then it's like in this one looks like it's been smoothed out also. But look, crotch level, and oh yeah, there was something weird going on. It looks like some kind of bulge, something. It looks really small. And it looks like something is bulging there underneath the suit. Which, if someone's tucking, if they still have their parts, they'd be taping all those parts underneath, you know. They'd be trying to tape them and tuck them probably down towards the gooch area, you know what I'm saying? But if it were to slip, but you know, if you're taping and tucking, like those parts want to be hanging free where they are. So if you try to tape and tuck them down, they might be pulling from the tape, and it might get little skin bulges in there, which is like what that looks like. It doesn't look like a female part. It looks like something else is going on in there. Do you see it? This little bulge here, something else is going on in there. Long arms. There's the crotch, the hands. If they straightened out their arm, their fingers fully, they'd be down here. That's well below. There's the Adonis again, which I believe has been airbrushed. And we have another straight side. I mean, this person achieves about as much indent on the waist as like Britney Spears would. But then Britney has the blazing Adonis below the navel, like way more severe than this person. But no, this is just a straight and flat person on both sides. They also can remove a rib so they can make it where the waist draws in above the navel, but it doesn't matter when you've got an Adonis there. Because the Adonis belts, it signifies the top of the pelvic bone in a male, which lies 2 or 3 inches below the navel. Also, we have our collarbone that is straight and flat and horizontal all the way out to the edge of the shoulder. This, I think it's a doctored picture. They've tried to smooth it out. I think they've tried to make it, because we just saw in the picture before this that they're not, it's like they're trying to make them look curvier and more feminine. But no, this person has wild, I think they messed with Photoshop, like with the shoulders and everything. But we've seen something in the crotch that didn't look right. Okay, this picture I picked because you can see the brow ridge is pronounced. And males have deeper set eyes. Like the brow ridge will be kind of protruding here, and the eyes are set back deeper into the skull than they are on a female. And then right here you have the edge of that square jaw. It comes down and then forward. Very boxy jaw, thick brow, wide set eyes, and large mouth is what I see there. This one's really telling for me. And it's like I wrote Arson a message, and basically I was telling her what I saw when I looked at this photo. And what I see is a young man that looks depressed, sad, maybe ashamed. Maybe it's like they want to be who they really are, but they just can't. It's like they look defeated in the eyes and sad, like they've been stripped of their dignity. And they dress them up. Here's these protruding collarbones again, but it's like they dress them up like basically a prostitute that you could see walking down. Like if you pick a street in Houston, you could find one that looks like this. That's a male prostitute street walking at night, trying to sell their arse for money. But yeah, it's like it's a face. You just take away this hair, and it's like it looks like a man in makeup. It's like I don't want to even try to break down, like try to scrutinize this picture too much. It's just like you can see. You can see. Can y'all see? Tell both of us in the comments. Tell me and Arson in the comments if you can see that this is a man face looking back at you. And it looks like sad and shame, and there's all sorts of emotions coming out of the eyes and the face. It's sad, really. But it's the parents that sold this character out. This is from Umbrella. Now in this video, it's like they showed the pyramids, and then there, of course, there's Jay-Z in it, who is super satanic. We already know. But they're dancing around with this umbrella, and then they open their legs, and then they put this umbrella right down between their legs. To me, they're signaling like a phallic symbol, obviously. They're putting this right there between their legs. And then if you watch the Super Bowl halftime show, this character was dancing and grabbed their crotch. And grabbing the crotch is something that people would think is something associated with Michael Jackson, which people thought was a man, which was inverted also, but it's like it's something that people would associate with a man doing. But yeah, just open legs and the umbrella hanging down between the legs. Here's for this B Better Have My Money. We have a classic male skull. A thickening of the brow in general. Perfect view of this long and square jawline. Huge jaw in general. Huge skull. Larger ears. Deep set eyes. You can see the brow ridge there, and the eyes are set back. Large mouth. I mean, how redundant do I need to be? Square jawline. Square jawline. Because in the past I used to be super redundant, but it's like, either you have the eyes to see it or you don't. Here is this dude once again. And if you look down the back, they're turned sideways. There's the curve in the back right there, consistent with a curve a male has right above the rear. There's no inward and outward curve in the spine. It's completely 100% vertical, flat, and straight. All the way down. Okay, here is from Umbrella. Of course, in Umbrella, it was Orange Edition, and orange is 33 in numerology, which stands for Freemasonry. Really, you can see right here, there's the shoulders. They're wider than the hips, Because they add on this leg. They could have done injections in the thighs to make them look, because that's what I believe has been done, to make the thighs look more feminine. But you still have a 100% flat and straight torso on both sides right here. You have bored, straight, flat, wide shoulders. 1, 2, 3 head widths there. And in here, they also dressed this character up, and then she had a hat on, like a top hat basically, and a tie, and then this is like basically like the suit. And so it's a haha joke that they do with these celebrities. They'll dress them up in a suit, like in a men's suit. It's a haha joke where they are letting us, it's a wink wink haha, that it's really a dude. And you can see that it is by the straight and flat sides here. Like there's the hips. This is the hips. All this is just leg slap-ons here. Hip, shoulders are wider than the hips. Right there. Females also will have sloping down shoulders, where they slope downward. These are just completely straight across shoulders. And we've already looked at the collarbones, which are also straight across. Okay, here, it's like, wow, look at Rihanna with Chris Brown. Now, who is the male in this picture? No, it's just that this picture is ridiculous. You can see that there's like, the hairline is all pushed back, but they've got, you know, this person's famous, so they've got all the, you know, beauticians in the world, makeup artists and hair, everything to try, like, they have all the money in the world to make this person look as passable as they can, and that, yet that's the best they could do. Just huge skull, set back eyes, square jaw, wide. Look how much wider Rihanna's mouth is than Chris Brown's mouth. Look at the long arms and the big hands. Also, with the male, if they put their hand over their face, their hand will cover up like their whole face, like from chin, like to the top of their forehead. And these hands would do that. Very big, long hands. And then look at, there's, and part of this picture has A$AP Rocky, and there's the crotch level, and there's the hand. I'm telling you, these people are all suspect. Anybody they're with. And what do? It's like they have the technology now where they can create, they can do like in vitro fertilization and create a test tube baby where they can take the DNA from two different, because these people are like, for the most part, they're sterilized. At least, like, if, like, let's say this is an inverted female. Well, it's like from all the male hormones they've been on their whole life, they would be sterilized. But it's like at this point they have technology where it's like they don't have to have the egg and the sperm viable. They can take the DNA and they can create, like through cloning technology, they can splice the DNA and create an embryo and put them in a real female surrogate. That's how I believe that these celebrities are having these babies. If you try, I can't pull it over any further, but that's the crotch length. The hand is right at the crotch length. Just look at the difference in skull size right here. Look how much longer the neck is. Also, males have a longer neck than females. Just in general. Males will have a longer neck, larger hands, longer arms. Look also at Chris, how there's no definition in these cheekbones. They're flat. Females will have flatter cheekbones. This character is just, wow. Now, here's another example of this haha joke Because Britney Spears, like I was telling you already, like here's in the man suit, just minus the hat, where it's like she took the hat off already. Rihanna did in this video at that point. The hat came off already. But this is Britney in Me Against the Music. Once again, it's like the same exact type of thing. The hat, tie, man suit. And that's what they're showing right here too, just a different kind of variation of it. The same basic idea though. And then she had on a hat, like a hat you would wear with a dress suit. It's a man suit. Here is Rihanna with, it's like one of the things I noticed straight off is that the head is larger than this supposed dude. And it could really be a dude. You know, there's people out there that would want to date a celebrity just because it's a celebrity. And they wouldn't care that it's really a Baphomet. But no. You can also see how the eyes are set back right here into the skull. They're deeply set. Male gaze. This person has a really fierce gaze in their eyes also, and that's one thing I didn't go over. They have the gaze, like a male will have a more intense gaze. Like when they're looking at you, they have stronger energy in the eyes. Also, it's like I noticed the knees are kind of bony looking. Males have bonier looking knees in general. The feet are so long. Males also have trouble finding these high-heeled shoes that will fit them. And here we are with Rihanna's feet are protruding off the end of these shoes. Huge feet. Too long. They can't find shoes to fit. They're protruding out. It's like a man is not going to be able to wear, like, shoes like this are made for a female that has more dainty feet in general. These are long, huge feet coming off the end. And also, number one, here's another thing. They're wearing like a man's sport coat. They like to play these games. They like to show us. And they're doing the X pose, lobbing one leg over the other like that. I've heard in the you know, tea investigation breakdown community that if they're doing this, that a real female, I've tried to stand like this, I can't stand like this. No way in hell. It's like a female has trouble standing like this because of our Q angle, our hips insert at a wider angle, so it's really difficult to lob one leg over the other and stand like this, especially in shoes like this. But the males have their hips are vertically, their femur goes into their hip, their leg goes into the hip vertical, so it's like it's a lot easier for them to do this pose where they cross the one leg over the other. I've also heard that they do that because they're tucking. I don't have all the answers. I'm just breaking down the anatomy. This is a baby picture of Rihanna, and wow. It's like, look, it looks like they did some sort of lame Photoshop job here, and they inserted some kind of pigtails or something on the head, something up here. But if you just block all this out, if you just block all this out, that's a picture of a little boy wearing a little boy's outfit as well. That's not a little girl outfit. That's a boy outfit. 100%. And there's more. The childhood photos are really telling. Here's once again where, look, boy pants, boy shirt, like a male looking polo shirt. And they come in here, I believe they've come in here and doctored this up, and they just could have had just short, they're like, he could have had the short, kind of froey, fuzzy hair, but not these pigtails here. I think that's been inserted. But even if it hasn't been inserted, it's still, it's a little boy with pigtails. Either way, wearing boys' clothing. Just looks 100% like a boy. It's like, wow. Here we go. More. And then there you can see something in the throat. Because this person has had a lot of work done. Had a lot of work done since they got put on the masses. But just look at this. Just forget about this hair back there. Like, you know, their parents could have had this individual grow their hair long, but still. It's a boy. It's a boy, and it's like you can see the skin breakouts, and like in this photo you can actually see like the pores and the skin quality. Like males will in general have rougher skin with more noticeable pores and stuff like that, and that's what this looks like. A young man that's trying to make themselves look more feminine. Hairline receded, extremely receded right there. I see something protruding in the neck, like a little Adam's apple right there. Because, you know, once this character got brought onto the scene, it's like they're going to make sure their hair was done good. They're going to make sure that they've used Photoshop. That if they did have a breakout, that they would have products to clear that up. But no, you can actually see the pores. If I zoom in too much, it's like I lose quality. But yeah, you can see they have, like, what is going on with this hairline. It looks like the skin is pink. I don't know if that's from their hair being braided too tightly, and then it caused some of the hair to be lost. I'm not sure. Because I don't have ethnic hair. But yeah, it's a boy. And you can see how much more masculine, like if you take away this hair, make the hair short, you can see that it's a boy. Here we are once again. Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. This is a picture with the mother. Supposedly. But these characters, it's like there's no telling. Like a lot of times the backstories with the characters are fake. But in any case, look how receded this hairline is receded halfway back across the head. And a hairline receded is something more likely to be on a male. Look at the squareness of this jawline. It's just insane. Look, straight down and then forward. Down and then forward. Wow. That's one of the boxiest jawlines that I've broken down on this channel, really. The head is very large. The pushback, receded hairline. Male face. Male body. No chest. They look at an age right here where they would have something there. Absolutely nothing there. They haven't been, obviously they haven't been enhanced yet with surgeries. But yeah. That's your Rihanna, guys. It's a dude. There's nothing girly about this character. Nothing girly at all. But we're going to continue. Here, you can see the hips are narrow. There's no Q angle. Straight up and down legs. Very large feet. Knobby sinewy knees, which is a female could have, you know, bony knees if they're real skinny, but the bonier, more prominent knees are more likely to happen on a male, and that's what they do in Hollywood. Wide shoulders, hips. This is slap on, like I was saying, because they've done work here to widen the legs and make them look more feminine. But here's the hips. You can see at the edge of the shirt, there's the hips. The shoulders are wider than the hips. They're just built like a basketball player. Very large hands, just completely horizontal, wide shoulders, large skull, wide set eyes, wide mouth. I'm seeing a prominence of something here in the throat. Sometimes, you know, once they come here, they've had their Adam's apple shaved down, so it could be just prominent trachea at this point. Here is an interesting picture here, which I don't know how old this is, but still, it's like the arms are clasped. This person has been taught to keep their arms. Usually they have their arms crossed or held away where you can't gauge like how long they are at their side. If you see how long that is, if they're straightened out, they'd be like here. You know what I'm saying? Just big hands, long humerus bone here, square jawline, thickening of the skull and the brow in the brow bone sort of region. This looks like before. It's like they have more of a straight torso, but like I said before, they could have removed a rib. We don't know the order in which this person had their procedures done. They've had a lot of work. I know Arson found images that were showing also reflecting a lot of work. Here is another example. Oh, here is long arms. That's the crotch. Here's the hand. The hand's not even fully extended to the side. It's like they try not to show their arms against the side of their body. I'm sure these people would have coaches trying to coach them on how they can look, how they can not get figured out by people like me. But still, you can see, I mean, the large skull is prominent in every picture, but you can see the collarbone that is flat going straight out to the edge, and the complete devoidness of a Q angle whatsoever. Straight, the legs insert straight into the pelvis. Females should have an angle, and then the legs come down more of an angle towards the middle, but those are straight up and down. And this person just has really big feet. I looked up and they said they are a size 9, but no, they have larger feet than that. That's ridiculous. Now, there's a straight and flat back, a good view of it from the side. There's the curve right there. The only curve in their back is right there. I can see a long humerus bone there. Here was a good image of the crotches here. The hand is not even fully, the fingers are not fully extended. So we have crotch here and hands down here. Longer arms that reach further down as a male trait. This is one where you could really see the width of the shoulders now. Completely horizontal, straight across collarbone, straight to the edge. I see some muscle, like some muscle definition, and males they have less body fat, so they would have more muscle definition than a female would in general. You're always going to find, like, there might be the man that has more body fat or something, but I'm talking about in general. And I can take and break down this character and 50 others that are supposed, basically everyone portraying female on the masses in Hollywood is a dude. That's the point of this video for the most part. I could break down 50 so-called women in Hollywood and they would all have these same features, like the muscle definition, the straight across collarbones, the wide shoulders, the little hips here. It's just the same old, very redundant. Now, this is a picture of a real girl that's just a skinny girl. Okay? You can see the edge of the shoulders out over here. But see, on a real girl, even a skinny, because people will say Rihanna's collarbone is sticking out because she's a skinny girl. It's like, no. See how the collarbone comes up at an angle and it ends up here? See how it's at an angle going up? And the edge of the shoulder is way over here. See that? Shoulders over here. Collarbone goes up at an angle towards the back, and it meets up over here on a real female. And just the more delicate shoulders and stuff. But you see that collarbone, how it goes up at an angle? Like the neck's here, and it goes up at an angle. There's the edge of the shoulder out here. This collarbone's up here. You see the difference? There's the edge. There's where the collarbone goes up. That was just such a good example. Here's another example. This is an example of another dude in Hollywood that has the similar thing where it looks like they look like they've possibly had a rib removed, so they're or they could be using a waist trainer, just compressing this area so that it cinches in more. But no, look at this protruding, flat, straight, horizontal collarbone all the way to the edge on both sides. See this? That's a male collarbone. That's your Wednesday right there. Just another example. This is a real girl. The collarbone starts out in the middle. There's a tendon from the neck. The collarbone starts out in the middle and it goes up at an angle. And the shoulders are way out here. Not way out there, not wide shoulders. I'm saying the edge of the shoulder is way out here, but the collarbone is going up all the way over here. It's vastly different than this. Straight across, protruding. It doesn't go up at any angle. It just goes straight across, straight to the edge of the shoulder. And this one that goes straight across, straight to the edge of the shoulder. The difference, the point I'm trying to get at is these horizontal collarbones belong to males. And this belongs, all three of the characters are thin, This belongs to a thin female. And it's just like night and day difference when you look at this, the difference between this. And that is written into every cell of this character's body. And so it doesn't matter how many slap-ons or surgeries that they do, they can't cover up some of these markers. And that's the ones I was trying to point out. So I hope you all have a blessed morning or night. And can't wait to hear what Arson has to say. Blessings.
Hey y'all, Arson Darksy here. First off, I want to thank Crystal for doing this collaboration with me. I am so honored that she thought of me when it came to this. I really wasn't expecting this at all, but out of the blue, she was like, hey, I really want you to help me do this video. I think you would be great to collab with, and I'm just so thankful. I really was caught off guard, and I hope I can do a good job. I'm sorry if I don't do a good job, or if I just end up pointing out the same things she points out. I wrote most of my script before watching her video, so I don't know if I'm going to just point out a lot of the same things, but I hope I do a good job. Oh, and I want to say I'm sorry if I sound bad, I'm congested. So anyway, My trick is don't glance at their face or their head, look behind that at the shoulder area and closely examine downward before looking at the head, because their head has most likely been surgically sculpted to the max, along with tons of makeup on top, so if their body is very feminized, looking at their head first can confuse you. They put the most work into their skulls and faces, so in my opinion, it should be the last place you look. I'll be looking at these folks and notice that it's a man I'm staring at, just for a split second though, and then I look at their face too long and then I get all confused and full of doubt. So I've made it this rule of thumb to try to look at their face last, but I mess up all the time. Anyway, I like to first focus on the knees, legs, and shoulder area, and before really looking at their head, crop out the majority of their skull with your fingers so that their eyeballs are exposed. That's another little trick I've learned. Try to crop out their eyebrows, the bridge of their nose, and even their eyelids if you can. Take a deep breath, stare into their eyes, and gauge whether or not their eyes are male or female. Do you get little boy vibes while calmly staring into their eyes with no assumptions buzzing through your mind? Rihanna is covered in satanic tattoos, which I won't really get into much, and has a back so flat you could support a tray of food on it.
But you could eat breakfast off of.
He knows the perfect ways to contort his body to appear more feminine. Women's arms splay out to the sides, and so he frequently poses with his arms out like that to simulate that natural trait. He pins his shoulders back to make his shoulders appear more narrow than they really are, because biological females have narrow shoulders compared to men. Biological men can fit 3 head widths or more on their shoulders, while women can only fit about 2 or 2.5 head widths on their shoulders. This is why you'll see many trannies pin their shoulders back and walk like stiff people who are turning into statues or something. He also turns his body slightly to show the side of his butt cheek to make it seem like he has hips sticking out when it's actually just his rear end. He also frequently poses with his knees bent to make his jagged male knees appear more smooth and feminine. And if you didn't know, men have more jagged knees. Well, they have more jagged bones in general. Their bones stick out much more. That's why Angelina Jolie looks like that. I won't say what Angelina Jolie looks like because of the guidelines on this site, and I'm already on thin ice as it is, but why he looks like that, alright? When it comes to tranny crotches, especially elite castrato crotches, there are a few options. There are chemical castratos that remain intact while wearing undergarments similar to these. Or chemical castratos that tuck their junk. Or castratos who have had their testicles removed, along with their penis skinned, turned inside out, and implanted into their pelvis to simulate the appearance of a vaginal canal, clitoris, and labia majora and labia minora. Grossy, grossy, grossy. In Rihanna's case, based on the pictures I've seen, I believe that he tucks. I don't believe that many celebrities go along with the surgery because of religious reasons. These celebrities worship the devil, otherwise known as Lucifer or Baphomet, who has breasts and a penis. Perhaps the celebrities who worship other demons, such as Lucifuge Rofocali, choose to have surgery, but that I don't know for sure at this time. Even the celebrity sex tapes that I've seen were super fishy. Right before I became a Christian, I learned about the trans agenda and skeletal anatomy. Around this time, I heard other truthers say that nearly all the women on porn sites are actually men, and that free porn is free for a reason, to brainwash men primarily. I didn't know what to think, so I went on porn sites and transvestigated porn stars as well as what looked like amateur porn, well, just normal-looking women. 2 things I remember from that time. Number 1 was this amateur video with a regular woman who wasn't a porn star or anything. I remember zooming in on her crotch, which looked just like a real woman's crotch, and the only way I was able to tell that this was actually a biological male was by seeing the faded scars, the very faded scars, on his fake labia majora. If I hadn't researched the surgery and looked at where the scars are located after their penis is inverted, I wouldn't know what to look for or where to look, and I would have assumed I was looking at a biological female. Maybe a female that just had, like, a scar there, you know? I mean, people have weird injuries, I don't know. That's how realistic it is, though. I mean, I would not be able to tell that was a man if I had not seen those scars and known what to look for. That's seriously how realistic it is. The second thing I remember from this time was when I looked up the Pamela Anderson sex tape. Before watching the video, I had so many doubts, thinking I would watch this and find out I'm crazy or gullible for believing in this trans agenda, because how could a biological male possibly make a famous sex tape and still have the public believe he's a biological female? Well, when I clicked on the video, I couldn't help but laugh because there conveniently happened to be a lit candle or some bright light right in front of the camera, right where Pamela Anderson's crotch was located. What a coinkydink. I mean, if you're going to make a sex tape, why on earth would you decide to place a lit candle in the middle of the screen? Keep in mind that the sex tape is pretty old, so the light caused a huge glare that covered up just about everything. So maybe at the time of the sex tape, Pamela still had his little Richard a dangling, or didn't have a realistic enough of a surgical job. I don't know. Since I'm a Christian now, this isn't something I can go investigating like I used to, if you know what I'm talking about. Now back to Rihanna. I feel like he's had some work done on his legs because they look very thick, but that can also be from hormones and other so-called medications that they take. Even with these thick legs, you can still see those bony, jagged male knees. There is zero waist indent. I'm surprised they wouldn't Photoshop this like some other pictures. His waist is abnormally long, and something just doesn't look right about his crotch. To me, it looks like a tuck job. I keep noticing in Rihanna's pictures he almost always has one leg turned inward to make it look like a female Q angle, and that there's hips when there aren't any at all. He's really good at posing, and look at that neck. He has very curved male clavicles. He's posing so hard, my goodness. Anything to distract from that lack of waistline, I tell you what. Notice he wears those pink shorts high up above his panties to simulate a shorter female waist and to cover his Adonis belt. But look at how low those panties are. That is a very, very long waist. Look at how long those clavicles are. I don't know how it's supposed to be sexy, posing like you're trying to wipe your butt, but whatever the guys are into. In this picture, it looks like his crotch is going downward a little bit and he's trying to cover that up with his leg. High calf muscles, jagged knees, thick bones, weird crotch, extremely long male torso, and big old man rat feet. I suppose I was born with a bittersweet blessing. Last time I checked my height, I was 6 feet 2 inches tall. Back when I was transgender for over 20 years and wanted to be a man, being tall felt great. But since I found Jesus Christ at the end of 2020 and he took those transgender and homosexual demons away from me, I felt like a true woman for the first time in my life and have felt a full, healthy attraction to men. So the longer I'm going through the sanctification process, the more I seem to feel awkward being way taller than most men out there. That's something I'm trying to deal with and overcome, but the good thing about being such a tall biological female is that folks can't try to pull the wool over my eyes with stupid excuses for these trannies, such as, oh well, Rihanna is just on the tall side, so that's why her feet look like that, and that's why her hands look like that, and etc. I've always had huge feet. I'm talking around a size 11 or 12 in men's, and that was when I was not even an adult. That's when I was probably a teenager. Like, I don't know, 12, 13, 14, 15, I don't know. It kind of sucks going shopping with these feet because you can hardly find comfortable feminine shoes with feet like this. But guess what? Even with a large shoe size, my feet don't look none like that. Compared to Rihanna, my feet are dang nab adorable, okay? So sheesh. Need to appreciate myself a little more. And even though I've inherited my big OB knee hands from my grandmother and my height doesn't seem to help with them looking petite, I can still confidently say that my hands look nothing like that. And my finger-digit ratio remains very much feminine. Thank you very much. Rihanna ain't got no excuse, okay? So anyway, this here is a great picture for us because it shows how large his male rib cage is, and you can see that flat male back. You can see that male torso and stomach and Adonis belt as well. This is not a good picture for him. I mean, look at those small pectoral muscles. He's just a small and healthy feminized male, reminiscent of the ladyboys in Thailand. He just looks strange. And no, I'm not trying to bully, nothing against him. I love Rihanna and wish him the best. No bullying over here. Leave me be. Anyway, look at the proportions with his chest and overall body. Nothing looks right. You can see that upside down triangle body type that men have where their shoulders are broad while their waist and hips are narrow. And here's another great shot of those male thigh muscles and jagged male knees.
Tight man with cast iron pecs. Thighs that could choke a bear.
This must be before he got his knees done. I believe Rihanna is a very feminized biological male who has had a ton of work done to appear as feminine as possible. Take a look at those legs. To me, it looks like Rihanna has had some Botox or fat injected into his knees.
We got our knees done.
You can do that? You can do that?
Because there appears to be swelling clouding those protruding bones. You can still see what appears to be jagged male knee bones, but with some swelling over top of it. I've been wanting to make a video for a long time called "The Knee is All You Need," because it's often one of the best ways to tell a person's sex. A great trick that I learned from Inspire734, God bless her by the way, God bless her, like, I don't agree with everything she does, like, in her personal life, because she, like, I think she believes in hypnosis, or she was hypnotizing her sister or something a couple years back, but she hasn't made a video in a long time, so I don't know, like, what she believes nowadays or what she's doing, but she's very knowledgeable. Anyway, a great trick I learned from Inspire734, who might have actually been the first person to teach me about skeletal anatomy and proper transvestigation techniques, was to take your finger or a ruler, trace from the outside of the knee up to the hip to find precisely where their hip bone is located. This way, no amount of surgery can hide how narrow their hips really are. Using this technique, you can see that Rihanna has had some work done or has more fat in his hips due to hormones because his hips are too narrow and his shoulders are too wide, even though it may not seem like that because in this picture, he's posing at a weird angle. Biological females don't have profiles like this. A biological female will be more likely to have a double chin appearance, not like you're super fat or anything, but we don't have such a dramatic jawline like this. It's like a shelf. Men have larger skulls and more jagged bones that stick out along with larger jaws that create profiles like this. Some women have tighter jawlines than others, but I don't know any women who have jawlines like this. It's like a right or a cute angle or something. It's insane. And that forehead is ridiculous. Just looks like a guy to me from this angle. I found a video a few hours ago of a biological woman who has just recently given birth, and in her video she's making some kind of like some brew for postpartum issues and vaginal stuff. So yes, she is a biological female who has some characteristics similar to Rihanna, and this is what I believe Rihanna would look like if Rihanna was a biological female. Okay? And as you can see, Rihanna would not have such a dramatic jawline. Maybe would have a forehead sticking out quite a bit like this woman here, but this woman has actual female proportions, female digit ratio, female hip to shoulder ratio, even though this woman does have pretty narrow hips for a female, and some women do have pretty narrow hips, and that's why sometimes they get like C-sections and stuff. Like my aunt, she had narrow hips and couldn't give birth, so they had to give her a C-section. But still, their shoulders are nothing like these so-called female celebrities, guys. So many women will comment in the comment sections and be like, well, I have wide shoulders just like Kim Kardashian and Rihanna and Beyonce. And it's like, dude, no. Trust me, it's not like that at all. So anyway, that's what I think Rihanna would look like if he was a she. I really do think he gets his knees done because there they go looking swollen again. Look at that tiny male bottom. That's the smallest hiney I've ever seen, and that back is extremely flat. I know I'm reiterating, but just to drive it home, very male looking torso. You can see male bones protruding in his neck, face, and forehead. Even after feminization surgery, he looks very masculine. Speaking of surgery, it looks like he's had a lot of work done to his neck. Look at all those markings. When they shave down the Adam's apple, all they have to do is make a very tiny incision, and you can't really tell unless you look extremely close like in this picture. It's possible these aren't marks from incisions or anything. Maybe it's bug bites or something else. But I thought I would just show that. And again, you can tell he's had a ton of work done. Look at that crazy jawline, male torso, Adonis belt, and look at that small, small butt. It looks like he later got a Brazilian butt lift. Looks like a tuck job to me. What the heck's going on here? It looks like Rihanna has a bad case of chameleon crotch. It looks different every time you see it. This body kind of looks like that other body from my video called Lying Trannies Trying Their Best. It looks a lot like that, just not as extreme, of course. That weird concave in the stomach. Like, what is that thing? I don't know any women who concave like that. I think the presence of a uterus would make it hard for you to concave in that way and have that kind of torso. Ooh, just don't look right. You can see how high up his calf muscles are by looking at the glare on them. Males have higher calf muscles than females. And is that a skull and bones tattoo? Looks like a skull and bones tattoo with a bone on his head. Well, y'all, I think it's safe to say that Rihanna ain't all he's cracked up to be. Even though it may feel pointless, we should pray for these people at least once. We should pray for all the elites and people in government. Keep Noah in mind. Even though God knew that nobody would listen or change, God still had Noah preach to everyone for over 100 years. Have the mercy and grace of Jesus Christ in your heart, and pray for everyone to find salvation through Jesus Christ, because the Lord wishes that none would perish but all come to repentance and salvation through him. So yeah, that's the end of my script. This is me what's it called? Not pronouning. What's it called? When you oh crap. It's a word improv. That's it. I'm improving. Obviously. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please share the truth with people. Don't be afraid. I know it's easy to be afraid. It's so easy, especially with how bad the persecution is and how uptight everyone is with the broomstick up their you-know-what. But you know what, guys? Jesus is coming soon, and we're going to make it through. So just stay strong. Keep spreading the truth. Keep spreading the gospel and your testimony. And yeah, keep me in your prayers. Keep Crystal and her children in your prayers. And God bless you all in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Thank you again for watching. I'm going to be working on my Men of God documentary now. Well, I have been, but I'm going to work on it every moment I have that's free at this point. I don't know when it's coming out, but I'll keep you guys posted. Please keep an eye out on my community tab. I'm being censored like crazy. I even though you may be seeing some of my community posts, I know that NaziTube is making it harder for people to see my posts, and I'm seeing a lot of differences and different changes and things going on that other people may not believe me unless they ran the account and they saw what I saw. So please just keep an eye out. Don't forget about us. We're here. We exist. Please subscribe to all of our channels. I made a brand new channel. It only has 23 subscribers. I don't know how I'm getting over 100 views and y'all ain't subscribing. Why are you here? Why are you subscribed to this channel that could be gone tomorrow? You don't want to see more? Because there's more, okay? I got so many documentaries coming out this year. They're going to blow your mind. We got demons raping people on camera. We got demons kidnapping people. We got demons murdering people in cold blood, okay? It's going to be crazy. crazy this year. So make sure you subscribe to all of the channels so you don't miss it. We're also going to probably be posting more on BitChute and Rumble. I know I haven't given those links out because I don't really have any content up at all. So whenever that happens, I'll let you guys know. God bless you in Jesus' name. Again, keep me in your prayers. Pray for my focus, my lack of pain, because Satan loves to give me pain and affect my ADHD when I'm working on stuff. And just pray against all spiritual attacks. And pray for the protection of my family, my friends, my loved ones. Thank you guys. And oh, please pray I can get a computer. I need to get I'm looking at computers because I need to get a specific kind that allows me to do CGI. I want to create movies, like Hollywood level movies. And so it looks like I need to get between $300 and $1,000 more to get the kind of computer I want. So please pray that God will help me pick out the right kind of computer, because like in the past, when I did get my own laptop back when I was 14, 13 years old or something, when after my dad died, we got $5,000 after he died and spent $1,000 on a Toshiba laptop. The thing was a lemon. We constantly were sending it back to get fixed. We hardly had any time with it because it was constantly breaking, and I didn't even get to use it. Really, it just broke down. It was good for nothing. It was a big waste of money. So I'm really burnt on buying computers and technology, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little afraid. I don't want to make I don't want to make a mistake in buying a computer. So please pray that I get the right one, and I can get that soon and make some movies, because I have the most amazing movie idea, and it would involve a small cast. So if I did have to pay anyone for casting, it shouldn't be a big deal. And I feel like my dreams are just so close yet so far, and I know I'm a few prayers away from reaching them. Just pray with me so I get there faster. And if you do want to donate, that would help a lot. It would help a lot with these documentaries and everything I'm trying to do. And yeah, I'm excited. We got documentaries. We got the Pride Parade preaching coming up soon in a few months. It's going to be crazy. Yeah, that's about all I have to say. Love you guys. Bye.